This is the lightest ergonomic mouse on the market right now. It's the Craze 8K made by PMM.gg. And it weighs around just 33.5 grams. It's a 3D printed shell using the internals from a Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro, and it's based on the DeathAdder V3 Pro hyperspeed shape. The weight of this is insane, especially considering the size of it. Other mice around this weight bracket are small, symmetrical shapes mainly to be used by a fingertip or claw grip, which I have found to be rather uncomfortable to use. The Craze 8K might be the first ultralight mouse that I can finally use my preferred grip type with, but there are a few concerns that I have with using a mouse of this general structure, and that is if it will break. I am incredibly heavy-handed with gaming mice, so this lightweight, delicate little thing is going to be under a lot of pressure from my chimp-like hand. We'll find out whether or not it resists the level of stress I'm going to put it through. First, there's a few other surprises that this mouse has which makes it more than a standard 3D printed mouse. This is using what PMM calls their Ultra Grip 2.0 coating, which is a thin ceramic coating that's applied to the shell. They claim it provides excellent grip without grip tape, and yeah, I'd agree with them. It's probably the grippiest coating I've ever felt. It doesn't have that coarse texture like an original version of the DeathAdder V3 Pro or Viper V2 Pro. It's more of a soft matte coating with a bit of chalkiness to it. It reminds me of the Pulsar Super Grip tape, in terms of grip that is. The Ultra Grip is a lot more comfortable. I wouldn't want the Super Grip tape to cover a whole mouse. And obviously you don't get the negative side effects of grip tape, that being dust or dirt building up on the sides, or adding extra millimeters or grams to your favourite mouse. I can be a bit of a sweaty gamer, so this has been tested under more moist conditions. I haven't experienced any downsides to this coating in comparison to a more traditional one. For the remaining area of the mouse, well, there's not much of it, so skin contact is reduced anyway. And when I flip it over, you see that there's even less mouse. I am very thankful they provided me with a case for this, because I would not put this in my bag without one. I didn't even do a little squeeze test with this because I'm certain the mouse will break. Just like the G-Wolves HTS Ultra 8K and the HTX Mini 8K, I do wonder about the longevity of the product. Because of all these holes, it's going to get exposed to the environment a lot more. There was already some cat hair inside the mouse from me using it, and we also have the exposed battery on the underside, which is being held in place by some adhesive on a tiny rail. Now, this isn't to say that the mouse feels cheap. There's no wobble or creaking on the mouse. Just like the G-Wolves mice, this is a structurally sound product despite the lack of structure. So clearly a lot of work has gone into this to achieve that. I do wonder though about the potential issues that could arise after 6+ months of use. In a less than ideal environment, not everyone plays on a pristine setup like the ones you see on Twitter or Instagram. Now, you do get 1-year warranty with this mouse, and from what I've seen from looking around is that the customer service from PMM isn't G-Wolves level. In fact, I don't think I've seen someone with a negative experience with them. So it's likely if you have any issues within your 1 year, you won't be gaslit into thinking it's your own fault the mouse is faulty. Now, you're probably wondering if this is actually a good mouse to play with. Yeah, it is. Having an ultralight mouse that isn't a small symmetrical design is amazing. When I used the G-Wolves mice, I couldn't really use them that much at all because they're just too small for my hands. But this is an acceptable size for me, which means I was able to use it comfortably, and it's great. Obviously, it's going to be effortless to move around, but I really felt that this mouse made a huge difference when I was just messing around doing dumb flick shots in CS2. The mouse made it feel so natural to do them, which is probably because you have total control over the mouse with this kind of weight. Look, I never said I was going to hit any. I tried to use this mouse without tensing my hand as much and being a bit less chimp-like, but I failed at that. But I've also experienced no issues with the mouse at all despite the pressure that I apply to it. So, should you buy one? Well, first, there's a few purchasing options, so let me take you through them. This mouse is a DeathAdder V3 Pro mod, so it's using the PCB from that mouse. When you go through the list of mice available on the PMM website, it will say which mouse the shape is inspired by and what mouse it uses the internals from. So if you buy the standard mod kit, you will need to have the required mouse to harvest its PCB. These mod kits come with all the tools required for assembly, a smaller battery to reduce the weight further, mouse skates and grip tape, and this kit costs around $95. There are detailed instructions on how to take the mouse apart that you're harvesting from and how to build the new one. One thing to note is that these do not come with the Ultra Grip 2.0 coating. You can also choose a custom configuration where you can select whether or not you want it pre-built, if you want it with or without holes, with Ultra Grip coating or not. You can choose your battery size and more. You can even make it cheaper than the base mod kits if you're happy using a larger battery and supplying your own mouse feet. Pre-builts are significantly more expensive because you're buying the original mouse for its PCB, then moving it over to the new shell and having someone build it for you. As an example, if you get the exact same one that I have, including the case, it would cost around $270. That's pretty steep, but again, that's the full package. If you want the same mouse that I've shown in this video, it would cost around $127. Now, I was very worried about trying this out, because honestly, I thought it was going to be bad. It looked overpriced, fragile, and more of a parody of a gaming mouse really. But after using this for a couple of weeks, I've been proved wrong. The mouse is very well made, and it certainly changed my opinion on ultra lightweight mice and 3D printed mice in general. I think the only critique that I could give this mouse is that the scroll wheel looks and feels a bit like a pumice stone. I'm surprised with how much I ended up liking this mouse. It's obviously a very niche product that won't appeal to everyone, but if you want an ultra lightweight and want something that's reasonably sized and already have an existing moddable mouse, I would recommend trying them out. So thanks to pmm.gg for sending this out to me. For complete transparency as well, they did in fact provide me with a fun-sized bag of Haribo sweets. If you're wanting a mouse that's a bit bigger, maybe a bit more rigid, well, there's a video on screen now for you to watch.